All right, so check it out, good people of the world. It is Soul Expression of the Expression of Love podcast, and I am about to reveal something that a lot of you are going to disagree with, and that's okay. But before I do, I want to stress to you that this is a growing idea, a sort of growing theory in my mind. This is not something that I have spent sufficient time thinking about, but it's something I want to share and maybe get a conversation going about it. It's important right now, with November around the corner, that we expand our conversation around things like racist voter suppression laws and things like that to get to the root of what people have an issue with, which is the correct policies are not being put through, and the politicians themselves, the officials, are not being held accountable for what they say and what they promise. And I think, again, this is a hot take. I'm a little nervous to even share this, but I think a very, very, very plausible solution to this is to figure out a way to place the correct kinds of barriers to the voting process. And here are a few barriers that come to my mind. Okay. Because I am not of the opinion that absolutely everybody should be voting and absolutely everybody should be participating so heavily in the influence of who we should vote for. Just absolutely everybody. I think a lot of people are very undereducated and misinformed when it comes to a lot of these things. And then I think there's a lot of policies and intentions that sound good on the surface that are pushed, especially by Democrats, that are not good in the long run. So, first of all, advanced literacy, meaning voters should be able to read your average bill or policy with some comprehension and demonstrated understanding. Another barrier, basic economic knowledge, meaning your average voter should be able to demonstrate an understanding of the predictions about the economy that officials are making. Another barrier, basic knowledge of world history, meaning your average voter should be able to demonstrate an understanding of the history of the formation of at least the major nations in the world who compete with the United States economically and so forth. Another barrier is the basic knowledge of the relationships between the United States and our allies and non-allies. Just a basic understanding, not that you're able to name, everything and talk thoroughly about them, but a basic knowledge about how the US's relationship with our allies and our non-allies is currently going. And lastly, another potential barrier is basic understanding of the Constitution and our nation's values. What I don't mean there is that you have to agree with all of the values put forth in all of the values stated in our founding documents, but you do have to know what they are. And that would be, I think, a good basic requirement for voter registration. Now, obviously, this would make voter registration a bit of a longer process, but I think with this model, if you will, and this is not a comprehensive model, right? But I think with some of these things implemented into a model, you would be able to register once, let's say, every 10 years, and not much would have changed, right? Because now we're relying not on the things that you have, like property ownership or ID and stuff like that, but your knowledge, right? What you know about economy, what you know about your nation, what you know about the world. And so I think that's an important conversation. And these barriers, in my opinion, would do two things. Okay, firstly, it would hold the voter accountable, right, for knowing what's coming when they cast their vote if their candidate wins and if their candidate loses. So it would hold the voter accountable to be able to articulate what should happen and be able to take correct action after the results come out. And then the second thing it would do or may do is hold the officials accountable to those who they depend on for their vote, meaning it would hold officials accountable to the promises that they make to the people that have voted for them. Because with this model, the average voter would not be easily influenced by biased mainstream media or rhetorical influences, if you will, from biased sources. So this is just some, again, ideas that are not fully fleshed out and that I personally am just introducing into the space. But I want to open a conversation about this. I think this is an important conversation that we're not having, that we could be having. So yeah, my name is Soul Expression. Check me out on the Expression of Love podcast, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Expressions of love.